Eiffel keys. One of the difficulties of playing the Nyckelharpa is climbing in the keyboard. It is something that many Nyckelharpa players struggle with. I have personally struggled with it quite a long time. There is no perfect solution to it. It's just practice, practice, and practice. Good news, I have a tune for you that is a very, very good exercise, especially for that. So it's a nice slängpolska, which sounds good on a variety of instruments. It's not very complicated really, but on Nyckelharpa it is a little bit complicated because it's basically only climbing. It goes up, it goes down, it has different patterns of climbing, so it's a great exercise for that especially. Plus it's really a nice tune, so if you want to learn it, keep watching. Also, for the people who are going to comment on the red dot on my face, yes, it is makeup, and yes, I am very much trying to fit in with the fly amanita mushrooms, which are very, very common in the Swedish forests in this season. This tune is called Polska efter Johan Blomgren, and it comes from Hässlunda in the region of Skåne, southernmost part of Sweden. It is a slängpolska, so even weight on every 3 beats, and it might sound a little bit baroque maybe. It's in D minor, and we start on the D. With the A part, let's go. So there are 2 kind of bits, A1 and A2. Let's take them a bit slowly. And A2. Right from the start, we are confronted to one of the challenges of Nyckelharpa, which is that with tunes that climb a lot, you cannot just wing it on the fly and just climb. You can to some extent if you are an experienced player, but in general, for these kind of tunes, you will need to take time with your instrument and the tune and find a way to put your fingers that sounds smooth. You cannot just like climb and when you're out of fingers you just jump and you go on. It's not gonna sound good and you're gonna have awkward holes in the melody somehow. So you have to fiddle around and find a way for your fingers to make it work, like a fingering pattern if you want, that make it work and make it sound smooth. So you will need to see where you need to stretch, where you need to jump, and where you need to replace a finger by another, and these kind of things. And there is no perfect way of doing this. It totally depends on your hands, how much you can stretch, how big your hands are, how thick your fingers are, and also on the keyboard of your Nyckelharpa. You know that Nyckelharpas are all a little bit different, they're not standardized, so what is possible to do on one Nyckelharpa with your hands is not gonna be that easy on another. So it's really your hands and your instruments that you need to practice a bit to find something that works for you, basically. Part B, we start on the high B flat. Again, several small bits here, so let's take them one by one. First, what I call B1A. Then B1 B, which is slightly different, although very similar. Then B2, starting on A. Now let's talk a minute about one specific thing of Nyckelharpa again. It is that sometimes we need to jump on the keyboard. In general, we try to avoid jumping as much as possible, so we are gonna use like replacement of fingers or stretching or this kind of things as much as we can, but sometimes we have to jump. We try to do it in like the long notes, so it's easier and we have more time to do the jumps and so on, but sometimes we have to jump in the middle of a fast pattern because that's just how the melody is. And the problem is that if your bow is still going while you jump, we're gonna hear the open string. And in this particular melody it's not a problem because the A is part of the D minor chord, so it doesn't clash with the melody, but in some other tunes it might clash quite a bit. So to avoid this kind of clashing, you have two possibilities. Either you make the open string not heard, so you make your bow very light and you also barely move. We don't usually lift the bow that much in Swedish folk music, but you can even lift if it's needed. Depends a little bit where it happens in the tune and how it feels. But if you just like, it's a ghost note, it's almost not heard. But the other possibility is to choose the places where you jump so that if the open string is heard, it matches with the melody. So this is a bit more advanced, and again, it's about sitting with your instrument, taking time to find different patterns to choose where you're gonna have your jumps. But it can give a very nice effect that is typical of Nyckelharpa, and I personally like it quite a bit. In this little part of the tune, it's especially nice, I think. I'm gonna show what I mean here. So we start on the high A. You heard those two A's. I'm gonna play without them how the melody is officially supposed to be. But I try to play a bit more like. Of course, not that strong. Here I emphasize them a little bit, but I feel that if they are heard a little bit, these A's in the middle of these jumps, they actually match the tune quite well in these places. So if you have some jumps in a tune, try to put them in places where if the open string is heard, it's actually a nice effect and not something that goes against the melody, but actually reinforces it. And then B3, that is this final bit. And here we have one of those staircase scales, as I call them, when you go like 2 or 3 notes up, 1 note down, 2 or 3 notes up, 1 note down, and it gives this kind of pattern. And these are in general quite hard on Nyckelharpa because you need to really know where the spaces are on your keyboard somehow. You can practice with like colorful dots on the keys if you want to be very visual, or just like practicing it slowly and faster and different rhythms and so on. This tune is a very good example of it. So yeah, staircase scales are something that it's good to practice. The whole B part a little bit slowly. As most of the time in Swedish folk music, we are going to repeat each part 2 times. So let's play the whole tune Not too fast, it's not a very fast tune, but you can also just speed it up and do a bit Nyckelharpa hero feeling if you want, when you have practiced it quite a bit. But first, not too fast. 1, 2, 3. And for the people who have mastered this tune and feel comfortable, I have a challenge for you. Let's play this tune blindfolded. So if you want to participate in this challenge, you can either just do it and tell me how it went by email or Facebook or something, or you can even take a video of yourself if you're comfortable and send it to me so I can see that you completed the challenge. I will not share it with anyone, but I will enjoy it myself very much, and I can give you maybe a few different tips if you want so. I will myself also take part in the challenge and record a video of myself playing this tune Nyckelharpa hero style with a blindfold on. So stay tuned on the channel for this coming. It should be the next video probably. So if you are not subscribed to the channel yet, you should definitely do that. Don't forget to also like the video if you enjoyed it. And if you like this kind of content, Scandinavian folk music, Nyckelharpa and fiddles, and also if you like my own music, please consider supporting me on Patreon, link in the description below. Thank you very much to my patrons, by the way, for the support, and thank you people for watching this video. I hope you will enjoy playing this tune, and that you will take care of yourself and of your instruments. I will see you in the next video. Hej då!